Right, so I've now got these pieces of paper in my hand. Two of them are about cartoons, and one is on My Children, My Africa. So I'm going to start with the cartoons. This is a single frame, right? And in it, you've got a woman being taken away from by the police. I can't draw her. She's a stereotypical English teacher. So she's got a bun, and she's in a sort of print dress, and he is handcuffing her hands behind her back. All right? So you could look at the stereotype. The stereotype, she's old, she's got glasses, her hair is drawn back, and she looks frumpish. Frumpy is unfashionable, old and unfashionable. Right, okay, so that's what she looks like. And there's a sign, and she's got hold of the sign, and let me just change color here, and she has crossed out the got, and she has written, "Do you have any milk?" And the caption for the cartoon is "When English Teachers Snap." Right. So, carefully explain why this English teacher snapped. So she snapped, she lost all control. Why? Because she saw an ungrammatical sign. Fine, 2 marks. Discuss how humor is created. Now, humor is so hard. When you're looking at humor, can we go back to the beginning of the program? It's a good idea to look for irony, to look to see if it is ironic, if there's any irony. So what would you say here? An English teacher who is old would be expected to behave in a law-abiding way, to be able to control her emotions and not lose that control. So the humor is created by the irony in that the English teacher has behaved like a vandal. She has vandalized somebody's notice and therefore behaved in an unacceptable, antisocial way, as if she were some kind of, I suppose we would associate, sorry about this, guys, but we associate young people, you guys, with being antisocial, rebellious, breaking things, whatever. Sorry. Okay, so she's been a rebel. She has violated the law. She's broken the law. And the humor is that such an old, frumpish English teacher, and English teachers are the worst, obey the law, do what you're told to do. So that is the humor. You could even say that the humor is directed at her as an English teacher, in that her priority is the grammar of the notice, and that she is being mocked. The mockery is directed at her. We are being asked to laugh at her for what we would call her pedantry. Now, a pedant is a person who always wants everything done just so, and you can't step out of line, and not one hair out of place, and the grammar must always be perfect, otherwise there's a problem. So that's a pedant, and she's being pedantic. Okay, that's your adjective, pedantic. She's being pedantic here about the grammar in the sign, and so there's humor directed at her. Can't you ever relax? Now, may I just defend English teachers for a second here? So often students will send me a WhatsApp or an email or write a card and they'll say, please excuse my spelling and grammar. I don't live as an English teacher all the time. I'm not correcting everybody's grammar all the time. We make mistakes. We make mistakes, see, in speech as well as in writing. But English teachers are seen as these people who, you'll get it right. Even if you're dying, you'll get it right. Anyway, so that's the humor there. Again, who did this come from? It came from Apiwe Zama. Apiwe, I'd rather you told me what the problem was. You know, Apiwe, I've had students who've said to me before, I don't see any humor. I didn't laugh. I don't think it's meant to be that kind of laugh. You know, we talk about a wry smile. Can I draw a face here? When you have somebody, and you know how the mouth goes like that, as if they've bitten on a lemon, that's a wry smile. And for me, this cartoon is not a fall about laugh kind of cartoon. It's, yeah, okay, maybe we are a bit pedantic. Maybe we do care too much for grammar in the face of disaster. Maybe it's justified. Maybe we should laugh at ourselves and take ourselves a little less seriously. But that's the humor. So don't think of humor as, it doesn't have to be that kind of humor at all. It can be different. All right, then let me go down here. This is a Calvin and Hobbes. And as you know, Calvin is a little boy. Now again, what's the problem? We're asked about his words. Were there any problems in the words? Who's this from? This is also from you, Apiwe. Apiwe, would you tell me what the problem is? Like, don't you understand the words? Is it a vocab issue? Then you're asked about his facial expression. And again, what's the problem? So in the first frame of the cartoon, we see Calvin sideways. Excuse me, let me try and draw this. His nose is a wee bit up, his mouth goes like that, his hair's standing on end like that, and his eyes there. So we can't really see his facial expression, but blimey, can we see it in frame 2. So in frame 2, let me just go down. His nose is like that, his eyes are like that, his eyebrows are joined, they're actually joined together there. His mouth is like this with his tongue in the middle, and you've got his ears like that, and his hair's all spiky, okay? So what can you see that he's doing? He's looks as if he's yelling, all right? So his facial expression suggests that he is agitated or upset in some kind of way. Then we're asked about his body language. And again, what's the problem? The question actually asks about frame 2. So let me just go on with frame 2. Calvin is standing up. He's at his desk, but you can see that he's standing. He's got this hand pressed to the desk, and he's got this hand up as a fist. All right, so and then you've been told the rebel stereotype. Okay, so I said stereotype earlier. So stereotype is a common example of that kind of person. So if I've got glasses and I'm old and I look really unfashionable in my clothing and my hair's pulled back, what am I? I'm a teacher. So the features, the glasses, the hair, the clothes, those features are recognizable as a teacher, and the female actually. Okay, so that's the stereotype. So you're told the rebel stereotype. So in other words, a typical example of a rebel. So it's for 3 marks, and I can't really see what the problem is. So P-Ware, please won't you tell me what the problem is? So his facial expression, he's very agitated, he is shouting, so you think, you know, a mind, la, where to, you think of that. The arm goes up because that's what, you know, when you're agitated, you stand up, you don't remain seated, you're in the person's face. I don't see what the problem is, okay? Then, so what happens in this cartoon is she says, you have a question, Calvin? And Calvin says, yes. What assurance do I have that education is adequately preparing me for the 21st century? So he's challenging the teacher, why do I have to do this? And we get this a lot. Why do I have to do simple, compound, and complex sentences? Why do I have to do irony? Why do I have to do? And then by the second frame, he's going, am I getting the skills I need to effectively compete in a tough global economy? I want a high-paying job when I get out of here. I want opportunity. So there's the entitled young person with the idea of I want to be financially rewarded. In the third frame, the teacher says, in that case, young man, I suggest you start working harder. What you get out of school depends on what you put into it. And Calvin says, oh. And he sat down and he looks, you know, just big eyes. And in the last frame, he's really grumpy. He's got his fist, his face is contorted like this, and he says, forget it. So you need to tell me up here where are you having trouble? What aren't you understanding? What does he realize in frame 3 is that what you get out of your education is what you put into your education. It's for 1 mark, that's it. And then how his disillusion is evident in his body language. Is that the problem? Is the problem in the word disillusion? Okay, so let's do word attack skills. I haven't done word attack skills for ages. I love word attack skills. So this is our prefix, and dis means not. What is an illusion? It's something that is not real. It's like a dream. It's something you believe, but it's not true. Now, in English, we say a person is disillusioned when their illusions are taken away from them. So they believed something, and now they realize that it's not real. So what was Calvin's illusion? That he could get a really good job, he could get a lot of money, and the way to do it was that the teacher would make sure that this happened. And the teacher points out to him, Calvin, it's up to the student. It's the student's ambition and the student's hard work that gets them the kind of qualifications that they need so that they can go on and in later life get all of this. It's actually not the teacher. So what was his illusion? That he had to do nothing. It would all be done for him, and then he would get the reward. All right, so it's only for 2 marks. I'm doing a lot of work for 2 marks. How is the disillusion evident in the body language in frame 4? So from all that energy, that aggression, that demanding in frame 2, his mouth is turned down, the whole face has crumpled with disappointment, he's leaning on his hand, he's crushed. And that's what you have to do, but it's actually quite a lot of work for 2 marks. And you explain that he's lost this, well, he's realized it's up to him and he doesn't want to do it. Okay.